My name is Leonardo Fioravanti, and I'm from Rome, Italy. I was born in Rome, Italy, and grew up in a place near Rome, about 30 minutes, called Cerveteri. It's a small little Italian town that surfing was definitely not one of the main sports that we did. It's very family orientated. Everybody knows each other, and definitely gave me a lot of that Italian mindset, lifestyle, character that I carry around the world. In Italy, surfing is not a big sport. We'll go to football and other sports, but in the little town that we grew up in at the beach, there was a couple beach clubs that the owners were surfers and windsurfers. They're the ones who got me into surfing. I absolutely loved it. I mean, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to surf every day. I wanted to spend time at the beach, and catching my first few waves was addiction. The place that I grew up surfing in is a right-hander called Banzai. The cobblestones, fun, trestles looking right-hander. Not as consistent as trestles, of course, but really, really fun. A really good Italian surf scene that pushed me as a kid to be a better surfer, and a really, really rippable wave. Surfing to me, it means everything. I always say I am lucky to be able to call surfing my job. It's something that I love to do every day, and it's my job, and it's what provides for me and my family, and I am so, so grateful for surfing. What I would look for in a wave is a powerful 6 to 8 foot wall where you can just get a lot of speed and do some big turns, and then possibly get barreled. So that's the ideal wave, 3-4 big turns into a long barrel. I would want the perfect board for those conditions where I can push as hard as I want and really put it on edge, hold the rail, but at the same time make sure that I can do some high performance surfing or wiggle in the barrel and keep it alive. I've been on the world tour since 2017. I had 1 year off where I fell off tour, but that was an amazing moment where I learned so much about competing, about myself, and became much more resilient. I've been loving it since the moment I got on tour. Always up and downs, but that's part of the job. I've loved almost every event, but I would say if I had to pick one special moment, I would go to the final I made a pipe this year. That was such an incredible moment where I gave it my all. I got barreled wave after wave. The waves were as good as it gets. It was incredible pipeline. I fought until the end. As you know, I almost got the win, but that was a very special moment because I saw a side of myself that, I know that I never give up, but in that moment I really fought until the end and came back from the trenches and almost did the job. So that was a moment from the world tour that I'm very proud of. The vibe on the tour, honestly, is pretty friendly. A lot of us nowadays are friends. We've been competing against each other for a long time. But at the same time, out of the water, we spend more time with each other than our families. So it's important, I think, to be friends and have a good time together and not only, be enemies or competitors. Everybody's pretty chill. Pressure of the competitions and results, it's always going to be there. You cannot say that you don't feel pressure. That's a lie. There's nobody in this world that doesn't feel pressure. So for me, that's something that I always try to embrace. And I've noticed throughout the years that whenever I feel like I'm mostly under pressure, that's when I perform the best. So I've learned to actually like being in those moments and enjoy those moments because they don't come very often. They say that pressure is a privilege, and it is true. If you feel like you're under pressure, that means you're in a situation where that's where you've always wanted to be, and you gotta find a way out of it. And that's the beauty of competitions. And I've gotten so much better with handling the pressure throughout the years. When I was younger, I definitely would react much more emotionally and in a different way. But today, being a bit older and more experienced in those situations, I feel like I am much more calm and collected in those situations and perform a lot better under pressure. The relationship I have with Belly is, it's special. He's a second father to me, mentor. He's been a coach. He's the person I go to for any advice, whether it's surfing advice or life advice. I have so much respect for everything that he's done in the surfing world, creating Bell, so much history behind that. The amount of resilience and the amount of work he puts into his life is very inspiring, and it motivates me a lot to give it everything I have in my surfing world, because Belly at 62 years old has got more energy than most of us, and that's very inspiring. I mean, since day one. I'm lucky enough to have been here for a long time, to have met Billy when I was young, to have had his help and support throughout my whole journey. That's been so special. And I really believe that today we are building an amazing crew of different surfers, but not only the surfers. I mean, when you talk about the Bell team, for me, it's everybody that works in the factory, that works in the office, countless hours into building the company, building our movement, and I'm proud of the team that we have, and I'm proud to be a part of this team. My favorite board models right now are the Sand by Christian Bradley in chunkier, heavier waves. Whenever it's 6 foot plus, I mean, the barrels, you can trust it in any type of barrel. Foam bowl, heavy, left and right. And the turns, whenever it's chunky, you can just push and hold as much as you want. And it's a model that I am always excited to go to whenever I see that the waves are bigger. And then on a day-to-day basis, I ride the Sharp Eye 50. That's a very high-performance model that works in all type of conditions. It's a bit of a flatter rocker for Sharp Eye, so it has a little bit more drive than many other boards, and it's definitely been my go-to board on the world tour. I've been lucky enough in my career to have gone to many surf trips. That's one of the things I love the most, is getting on a plane, flying to the other side of the world to chase a swell. And that moment when you arrive after traveling for so long and the waves are perfect, you will go around the block 30 times to surf those waves. 3 years ago, I had a session in Lance's Rights in the Mentawais. The waves were as perfect as it gets. It was one of those moments where it was me, my friend Charlie, and just sharing perfect barrels. It'll be one of those moments that I remember for the rest of my life, and I can't wait to go on another surf trip and experience something similar. Definitely keep pushing on the world tour and hopefully achieving my first victory soon. Hard work, believe in myself, and hopefully one day that'll come. And of course, after the season, I would love to go on a surf trip to chase some big barrels somewhere in the world, but can't really choose the location. It's more about when the time comes, you make the right move and you go to the right place.